Hey Retro community, how are y'all doing today? So we're gonna finally take a look at the Mega SG, and disclaimer, this has probably been recorded over multiple weeks, if not even months, so we'll just go right to it. Except one thing that I noticed is there's the Analogue logo that's kind of embossed on the top. I don't know if it was like that with the other boxes or not, but kind of neat little attention to detail there. But enough of that, let's just open this up and see what we got in here. Right off the bat, you've got the console. Very, very small. But it does have the edge connector for the Sega CD, because yes, this is compatible with the Sega CD, both Model 1 and 2, I believe. And what else we've got? We'll put this on the side here. We also have this spacer for the Sega CD, and this, I don't know if this is for Model 1, 2, or both, but for all intents and purposes, it's just a mouse pad without a fabric on top. Got the basic how-to manual. Also has, oh, apparently this comes with the Master System adapter. I did not realize that. That is awesome, because I've been having a heck of a time trying to find an actual Master System that isn't a fortune or broken beyond repair, at least by my ability, so this is really cool. Neat. I was not expecting that. And of course, usual cables, USB-C for power adapter, probably 5 volt 1 amp. Oh, sorry, 5 volt 2.1 amp. And then of course an HDMI cable, and thank God they included this, because I would have had to throw this whole thing away. And I don't think there's anything underneath. Nope, just a box. Now, unlike the Super NT, this does not come with a set of free games. The Super NT came with Super Turrican 1 and 2. This, I don't believe, has any built-in games. If it does, it's another surprise. So, set this to the side here. Comparing it to the Super NT, they're about the same size, give or take. Styling's a little different, of course. This has got similar styling to the European or PAL region and Japanese Super Famicom, Super NES. And this has more of a Model 1 and Model 2 combination of the Genesis / Mega Drive. About the same weight, too. Super NT might weigh a gram or two more because of the extra games that it comes with, but... So... Oh, that was not a good peeling. Then again, it's not covering much, so... So here's the console. Controller ports. Headphone jack, because the original had it too. Cartridge slot. Power reset. And on the back, power and HDMI, and I goofed. This is not USB-C, it's USB Micro B, of course, because of course it is. Take a quick look at this quick start guide here. Give a little bit of a history of them. Welcome to Analogue. And that's basically it, so not much there. There's obviously an online manual available on their website. Oh, I forgot, there's a SD card slot too for firmware updates and other things. So, all right, let's go ahead. We'll just get this thing hooked up to a TV, see what it can do. So let's take a look at some of the options and the settings and everything. It's been some time since I last did some recording, and I've had a little bit of time to play with some of the settings. Not all of them. A lot of them I'm just leaving as default. But I don't know if it shows up in camera or not, but you can hopefully see that I've got some scan lines set up. Oh, and I was wrong. It does come with a game called Outtro, another run and gun. Apparently people at Analogue really like run and guns, so we'll go ahead and load that up real quick so I can go through some of the options so you can see them live. We'll pause it here. And settings, oh, you can access the menu by holding down and start by default. And I'm going to mute the audio for a bit. So you hold down and start in game, you can go to the menu. By default, it boots into the menu, but you can change that to boot directly to a game if you want. We'll go over that in a bit. Start off with video though. Resolution. This is a 4K screen, so I set mine to 720p. It scales up nicely. 1080 doesn't look so good, especially with scan lines. So you may need to adjust for that. If you've got a 4K television, I recommend the 720p option. Width and height, it's basically just, you can adjust the width and the height for different resolutions. Genesis games either came in 320 by 240 or I think it was like 256 by 256. I'll post a correction if I'm wrong. But you can adjust the position of everything if you need to. I did mine already for the vertical, so it's as dead center as possible. You can adjust the height, but if you do that, you do run the risk of some interpolation going on and some shimmering. So I'm leaving it by default. Scaling just, rounds the edges off a bit. It's up to you. There's X-ray mode. I'm not going to use any scalers. DVI mode, it's for certain displays that HDMI doesn't work correctly on. If you turn this on, some sound setups will complain that there's an issue with audio. My TV and soundbar do that, so I'm leaving that off. And these options here are if you want to disable interpolation. Let's say you adjusted some of the settings yourself and you like the way they are. Maybe you don't care about interpolation. I don't know. Scan lines, like I said, here's no, here's normal, and here's a hybrid. I chose the hybrid because I think they look the best myself. We've also got extra features. Now I do also have advanced mode turned on, so there will be some additional features that will be enabled. Mask top and bottom. Some games have like an overscan area where there is just random graphics and stuff like that. No idea what this feature does. Sure, there's a specific option for it. This is going to be up to you if you want to enable it or not. I'm just going to leave it on, but you can turn it on and adjust it how you want. You can see some of the images changing. I'll just leave it at that. Buffer mode. If you choose fully buffered, it'll buffer all the graphics, but it will introduce lag. Single buffer, some tearing, some lag, and it runs at original speed. Zero delay to me is going to be the best option. You should just leave it unless you really wanted to change them. Limit RGB range. As you can see, it does adjust some of the colors a little bit. We'll leave that the way it is. You can also adjust the gamma sliders, so you can basically make it brighter, darker if you want. You can also adjust individual colors if you want. I'm not going to. DAC RGB mode, I don't have the DAC. That takes the HDMI and converts it to analog video. I don't have that, so we're gonna ignore that. Audio options, you can adjust the settings for the headphones, volume levels, channel panning, which can simulate stereo for, I'm guessing, a few games that don't do stereo. Not sure which ones do and don't. 3dB output cut, that's kind of like a filter, and again, I'm just leaving it. Cartridge CD audio. CD audio would be if you have the Sega CD hooked up, and cartridge audio would be mainly for Master System games that support FM synth. The Master System did have some limited support for FM synthesis. I don't remember which games had support, but it wasn't very many, if I remember. And here is in case you have your speakers crossed or something, you can adjust it from here. Cartridge CD audio volume, self-explanatory. Advanced filters, low pass filter, just tries to clean up the audio a little bit. Here is the 2612. I think these are the Master System options here, so I'm going to ignore those because I don't have any way of testing it. Ladder effect depth, I have no idea what that is, I'll be honest. Let's go into system and menu options. You can change your skin if you want. All it does is really change the cartridge in the bottom right down there. USA and Europe are pretty much the same. Japan gets, their cartridge there. Highlight style, it's basically Right now you can see the highlighted blue over the solid where it's kind of just like throbbing, they're calling it. If you just leave it solid, it doesn't do anything. Swipe just swipes in the view. Flash does that. Rolling does that. I'm leaving it throb. You can change the color. We use red. In North America, the hot accent colors on the Genesis were red, so we'll use that. Font. This is the default font. I wasn't a fan of it. It was lowercase like that. You can do mixed case. I'm using the alternate font. I think it looks cleaner, at least on my television. You may like something different. You can even load your own fonts if you want. I'll just leave this as is. Menu bounce. See how it does that little jitter? I don't like that. You can dim the game in menu. I disabled this for the purpose of this video so you can see how some of the effects change. I'm gonna turn that back on. Hotkeys and controllers, time required, whatever. Reset hotkey, you can adjust it. By default, it's up, start, CBA at the same time. Menu hotkey by default is down and start. You can disable the hotkeys. In pass-through mode, we'll put the controller ports in pass-through mode, hold reset button for 2 seconds to exit mode. And my character died because I ran out of time, but whatever. Startup options, boot sequence delay, I'm just leaving it at the default. It's more than likely for certain games, so they don't just start automatically. And you turn the console on and you're like, oh, I mean, if you've seen some of the Hyperkin system video reviews that I did, you know, turn the console on and the game's already halfway started because of the boot up sequence, so you can probably adjust it from here. By default, it goes right to the menu. You can have it go to the cartridge, from the title to the cartridge, and then which does that little analog boot logo you saw earlier. You can go straight to the menu if you want. You can go straight to the cartridge, which would effectively turn it into a standard Genesis or Mega Drive. Hardware options, got regions, USA, Japan, PAL regions. Auto region detection is turned on, which is nice in case you've got a game from a different region. Force 3 button mode. I believe there are a small amount of games out there that if you use the 6-button controller like I am here, I guess they don't work right, so you can force 3 button mode. This here is for the, oh yes, I don't know what this one does. I don't really have a way to test it, so SD card speed, we'll just leave it at that. There's a debug menu here, so you can disable the different channels. Highlight scanline numbers. I'm not sure why you would want this. Maybe it's for fine-tuning. Maybe if you're a game developer and you want to be able to test certain things out on your game. CD timing for the Sega CD, or if you're using the Mega EverDrive or one of the other, I forgot the other one was called. But I can't test that because I don't have one. So here's just the color for the LED. I set mine to red again because that's how it was on the, at least the North American Genesis. I don't know if the other ones had different color LEDs, but you can change it. You can also do whatever the center pixel is in the screen is what the LED will turn to. You've got a rainbow effect. I know you can't see anything, but that's basically that. And then you've got the about, and you can save your settings, which I will do now. And that's all there is to it. Now to get back to out of this menu into your game, you just hit C, and there you go. And it's just your typical run and gun. I'm not super good at running guns, although this does not seem to be as difficult as like a Contra, as I'm falling to my death. But yeah, so there's that. Let me go ahead and put an actual cartridge in so we can see what that looks like. All right, so takes me right to the menu. I'm just going to hit A to run the cartridge. Hopefully this cart's clean so it plays. There we go. And as you can see, it plays cartridge games just the way it should. You know, I know Sonic is all about speed, but I actually hate the speed boots. I kind of feel like it throws off the pace. It's almost like an anti-power up in my opinion. But yeah, this is, you know, lock-on technology. I don't have Sonic 3, unfortunately, because it's super expensive and hard to find. I guess I could lock on Sonic 2 to see if it works. It should. I'll be right back. All right, let's Sonic 2 with Knuckles. And it seems to work just fine, too. Oops. It's been a while since I played. In terms of lag and stuff, I really don't sense any, but again, I'm kind of used to it because I've played a lot of emulators growing up, and so it just doesn't bother me that much. I mean, I'm hitting the button and he's moving. And there could be lag. Like I said, I can't really tell myself. You might be more sensitive to it. But there really shouldn't be much, if any, lag anyway. This is FPGA-based, so different type of emulation from your software emulators, you know, from the mini consoles, from the emulator you run on your computer, what have you. I mean, yeah, that's really all there is to it. It's a perfectly good Sega Genesis clone. It's available for purchase on their website as of the recording of this video, but I don't know when you'll get it. Part shortages, etc. are still a thing. So if you're looking to get one of these, you might be able to pick it up, but you might have to wait a while to actually get one. There's so many different ways you can play Genesis now on your HD TV that if you can't get one of these, it's not that big of a deal. If you still want one, like I said, you can try to order on another website. They might still have them out there. You just might not get it anytime soon. Again, not sponsored, not affiliated with them. Should be obvious. So yeah, so that's it for this video. What did you guys think? If you've got one of these, have you had a chance to use it much? You use it a lot? Do you find yourself going back to original Genesis? You know, it's a great console, like I said. Do you need one of these? No. Again, if you've already got an original Genesis and you've got a way to play it on your modern television, or you're more than happy with your old CRT, hey, that's great. Otherwise, if you liked the video, if you didn't, you know what to do. Subscribe, don't. I just appreciate you guys even just watching. Thanks all, and I'll catch you later.